Hi, this is Lynn Anderson, and I'm speaking from the Durland Alternatives Library on the Cornell campus. The Alternatives Library is a community resource. It's free. It's open to everyone. If you live in Ithaca or the surrounding area, you are certainly invited to come and use the library. If you can't get to the library physically, you can request our collection through interlibrary loan, and that is through the Finger Lakes Library System, and that's FLLS.org online. I want to do a piece on politics today. A very large section of the library deals with politics and culture. The other part of our collection, of course, the big part of our collection, is a book collection. And I'm going to just go through a few of the topics we have. And like I said, this is culture and politics. We have a lot of historical information about campus activity during the peace movement of the Vietnam War, and now follow-on information on different peace activities that have been going on periodically as different wars are started by our government and the people who protest them. Blowback. I think this is a pretty well-known book now, Chalmers Johnson book. It's the consequences of our invading other countries and the perceptions that people have of us in doing that and how it affects our relationships with the world. Refuse to stand silently by. This is an oral history of grassroots social activism in the United States. It's 1921 to 1964. Static, that's the Amy and David Goodman book on government lying and media cover-up and the inaccuracy in reporting. I'm sure you're familiar with Amy Goodman's Democracy Now! If not, you ought to be, and it's online as well as broadcast here through our public radio station WEOS out of Geneva, a fantastic radio station, I might add. This is Harry Glassbeck. He's a Canadian author, and he wrote a book called Wealth by Stealth, and this is how the corporations have used the law to do what most of us, if we did privately, would get thrown in jail for. A girl, and these are the media. We have a media section. I've just grabbed a few from there. A Girl's Guide to Taking Over the Media, and this deals with writing for girl zines. We the Media. And this is fantastic because, of course, the whole media situation has changed so wonderfully and dramatically. Now people all do have access to the media through blogging and tweeting and everything else that's available on the internet. And this is a book that discusses some of the possibilities for organizing and using the new techniques. This is a very specific on hands-on guide to webcasting. If you're interested in webcasting and want to get kind of a jump start with it, and you aren't in school, this may be a book that could help you. And we have it at the library, of course, and it's for you to use. This is the Danny Schechter book, When News Lies, Media Complicity and the Iraq War. And this comes with the DVD in the back, which is Weapons of Mass Deception. So check that out. On the U.S. front, we have Noam Chomsky. We have a lot of Noam Chomsky. We've got probably one of the largest Noam Chomsky collections around. So if you're interested in reading him, a fantastic political analyst for years and years, he's been covering all of the issues around the world, and I highly recommend him. Like I said, we've got a lot of his stuff you can find out online, alternativeslibrary.org, and see what we have of his. Michael Moore, another well-known, and this person, this is, of course, Fahrenheit 9/11 and The Awful Truth and all of his great publications, including a lot of his stuff on TV. And this is called Dude, Where's My Country, which is pretty self-explanatory, too. Right-wing populism in America, how the right wing has influenced the politics in America. And this is done by a once local person. His name is Matthew Lyons and Chip Burley. I think Matthew's living in Boston now. This is from Dar Jamal. He's one of the people that went into Iraq unembedded, and this is his Beyond the Green Zone book. He's had a chance to discuss that book on alternative radio. It's well worth listening to that discussion. Street Level Democracy is a fantastic book about all of the different local grassroots movements that people have engaged in to try to change what's going on in their communities. And this is from a Canadian independent publisher called Between the Lines, a very good publisher. Stir It Up, from just about lessons in community organizing. This book has been stolen and now it's replaced, so if you were looking for it, there it is. And on the positive side of what people are doing, here's a great book by a friend of mine, Sally Miller. This is published by Fernwood Publishing, another Canadian publisher. Edible Action, a really interesting book on the cooperative movement and the food in the Canadian Maritimes. A lot of interesting stuff that you probably don't know of how people have organized and used food as a way of changing their economics through cooperative movements. My hero, Muhammad Yunus, the starter of the Grameen Bank. We have about 3 or 4 books about Muhammad Yunus and a number of books about the Grameen Bank, and it's incredible technique of giving small amounts of money to people to help them start small businesses and try to alleviate their poverty and eventually grow out of that poverty. And something close to my heart, Poor People and Library Services, and this is a book that discusses how important it is that libraries can serve poor people, techniques for reaching out to people, and I think more than anything we need to realize that libraries are the one thing that has to be funded, and that the funding must continue, because it is one of the few options that people that don't have a lot of money have to get information, and information is what we all need to have power in our communities and in the world. So it's very important not only to read and find out ways that libraries can use what they have to reach out and create programs for people that don't have a lot of money, and the rest of us as well, but it's also important that we realize that libraries cannot be left out of the funding stream when money is cut back for programming. With that, I will leave you, and that's the stuff on politics, and this is just such a small part of what we have. So I hope to see you in the library. Again, it's the Durland Alternatives Library, and come in, it's free, and we welcome you, and we help you find anything that you want. Bye.